Hey everybody, it's PJ from Wisconsin AirGunners. I've got a really exciting opportunity today, and that is to introduce you to the Ryu and Yokozuna moderators from DonnyFL. These are the first dive for DonnyFL into modular moderators, and by modular I mean you have components that you can swap to make the moderator larger or smaller to fit your needs and suit the kind of shooting that you're doing. They are really, really impressively built. A lot of time, a lot of R&D went into the construction of these. And in this video, we're going to kind of walk through what you get in the box, as well as show you how I use these moderators for tuning on an airgun. I know a lot more about, well, airguns generally and moderators specifically than I did, let's say, 3 years ago. Part of that learning process has been the opportunity I've had to work with DonnyFL. So in full disclosure, these are products that are put out by a company I work for. But this is my channel, and what I'm going to show you about these moderators today is my own personal opinion. Like I said, I know a lot more about moderators than I used to, and at one point I was not so much a fan of a modular moderator system. This particular pair of moderators has switched that belief on me. Not just because I had an opportunity to be part of the testing, but really because I had an opportunity to be part of the testing. I've used these on multiple airguns of multiple calibers, and in all cases I have found that if I take the time to do the tuning, which is what this video is really about, I have been able to make every airgun I've used these on quieter, and if not more accurate, and mostly more accurate, at least as accurate. So either quiet or more accurate, and in a lot of cases both. Again, that's the point of the video, is to walk you through that process. But first, I do want to show you what you get when you order one of these. So the Ryu comes in 22, 25, and 30 caliber. The Yokozuna currently comes in 25, 30, and 357. It's likely that there'll be a 22 cal version of the Yokozuna in the future. Both of these feature a quick disconnect connection to your airgun. So there is a piece that threads on to your half UNF, M14 by 1.25, M20 by 1, or M18 by 1. And that connector is the same across all the moderators. So you will have to get the right one for your airgun, but once you have that quick disconnector on, any of the DonnyFL QD quick disconnect moderators will fit. You still need to make sure the caliber is right. These are caliber specific. In the past, DonnyFL has used kind of a half-size approach. So you either got a 177-22, a 22, 25, a 25, 30, and then up into the big bores. Those were really designed for airguns that have shrouds, that have no physical connection between the shroud and the barrel. So take an Air Venturi Avenger, for example. That barrel is free-floating within that shroud. And so if you had a 22 caliber Avenger, I would recommend the 22-25, let's say a Tatsu or a Tanto. And you want that extra space because there's no physical connection between the barrel and the shroud at the muzzle. You want that extra space to avoid issues of clipping. That's what it's for. That's why it's a thing. With these are meant more for performance air rifles or air rifles where there is a direct thread onto the barrel. And as a result, the calibers have been shrunk down. Now that's not to say you couldn't take this and put it on a shrouded air gun, but I would recommend in that case, if you're not directly connecting to the barrel, I would recommend you go caliber up. So if you had that 22 Avenger and you wanted to try this, I would recommend a 25 caliber. You should also keep in mind that these are significantly heavier than the moderators DonnyFL has come out with in the past. If I compare the Yokozuna with all its baffle sections on to, say, a Sumo, this is about twice the weight. So if there's any flimsiness about the shroud on the airgun you're shooting, this is probably going to cause that shroud to droop a little bit independent of the barrel and may cause an issue with clipping, which you don't want. It's going to destroy your accuracy, and eventually, if you don't catch that it's happening, you could damage the aluminum of the, well, either the adapter or the moderator itself, which is not something you want to do. When you purchase your moderator, it comes in this nice presentation box, and you'll see a sticker on the bottom that indicates what caliber it is. If for some reason, and let's face it, sometimes you wind up accumulating several of similar things, if you do need to figure out what caliber you have, I'm going to put up an overlay here that gives you the dimensions of each caliber, so you can kind of sort that out for yourself. So let me put that up here. So inside the box, you're going to find a small envelope with an Allen key and a little tipped grub screw. And then you'll find the moderator itself. Now, in the back, you're going to have the connector. And right now what's out are half by 20 UNF threads. So this is the part that would thread on to the front of your air gun. And then if you want, you can take that little tipped grub screw and you can thread it into that hole, and that will lock this onto your threads. Now in testing, I've never used the grub screw, and I've never actually had one of these back off. So it's there, and if you want that extra level of, I know this isn't going to move on me, you can use it. But I personally haven't found it necessary. This hole, or the orientation of this hole, is important because there is also a little dimple on the quick disconnect part. And those are the two pieces, oops, got that backwards. Those are the two pieces you line up to push this on. So there's a spring and a flat rubber washer in there. That's what provides the spring tension that holds the whole thing together when it's mounted on the air gun. I'm not going to push this in now because it's actually quite difficult to take apart if you don't actually have this threaded into something. So that's how it goes on and off. Now, the modular part comes in when you look at these baffled sections. So you can take these apart and you can put it in any configuration you want. So with the Yokozuna, you have an empty airspace here. This is really an expansion chamber. And then you have 3 baffled sections. Each of these sections is O-ring sealed, and it really simply screws together. So you could run this with the air chamber and the front cap, so 1 baffled section. You could run it with 2 baffled sections or 3 baffled sections. You could take the air chamber out and run it with 1, 2, or 3 sections. So you have quite a bit of, let's call it, opportunity to play with what's going to work best for your situation, both in terms of how much noise reduction do you get, and then what does it do to accuracy. The Ryu has the same sort of configuration, just minus the expansion chamber. The base on the Ryu at the smaller calibers we found is enough air space, and so this wasn't necessary when we went through the testing and the design process. Each of the baffle sections and the front cap are all caliber specific. So the bore size moving through is the same. You won't have a situation where you want to mix or match these. And you might want to have a calipers nearby if you have several in different calibers, because you do want to make sure you get them put together properly. Don't start putting small pieces in a bigger one, or you're going to have things happening inside which you're not going to like. So we're going to go over to the bench, and I'm going to set up the air gun, actually a brand new raw micro hunter. I'm going to set that up, and I'm going to walk you through the process of how I go through and tune the harmonics of the air gun using a DonnyFL Ryu. Let's talk just a little bit about what we mean by harmonic tuning. Your barrel is a system. From the point where it meets the block in the rifle till where it ends, and whatever's connected to it, a shroud, a moderator, anything like that, it's a system. And as long as it's attached, there is a harmonic signature to that barrel system. If you lengthen it, shorten it, add weight to it, stiffen it, kind of do anything to it, it's going to change that harmonic signature. For years, I've used different moderators to find the best, let's just call it a harmonic node. Basically, I've found that depending on which moderator I pick, I get tighter groups. I get more accuracy. What this system, either the Ryu or the Yokozuna, is allowing you to do is basically use one moderator to harmonically tune your air gun and figure out where is the best combination of noise reduction and accuracy improvement with just one purchase. It does require that you take some time in order to, let's call it, set it up or figure it out or determine where exactly it is that you're getting that best accuracy. So what we're going to do, and I'll film all of it, but then I'll probably show it to you in fast motion because it does take a little bit of time. What I'm going to do is shoot 4 5-shot groups with no moderator. Then I'm going to put the moderator on, shoot 4 more 5-shot groups. Then I'm going to take one segment off, 4 more groups, another segment off, 4 more groups. In the end, we're going to have 4 groups. Each group will have 4 5-shot groups in it. And what I'm looking at is at what point in the moderator, length, weight, all that, at what point does it yield the best accuracy? That's what I'm concerned with. Now we should probably distinguish between accuracy and precision. Precision is, are we shooting the tightest group possible? That's a very simple definition of it. Accuracy means, are we centered around, call it a bullseye or whatever. I really don't care about accuracy at this point because I can always adjust the scope. And anytime you hang something new on your barrel, be it a moderator or tuning weights or put in a carbon fiber stiffening shroud or whatever, you are probably going to change your point of impact and you'll have to adjust your scope accordingly. What I'm looking for, regardless of whether I'm hitting the bullseye or my point of aim, what I'm looking for is which of these conditions gives me the smallest group. All right, now we have the moderator on all 3 sections. What I'm shooting today is the raw HM1000 Micro Hunter. It's in 177 caliber, and I am shooting outdoors. I'm shooting JSB 10 grain pellets, and I'm at about 18 foot-pounds, just a little bit under. Gonna shoot at 30 yards. I want the distance to be significant, but I don't want it to be so far downrange that I wind up with environmental variables having more effect on the groups than the system itself. So let's get a target up and a camera down range, and let's start doing some shooting. We are going to put more air in the tank, give the cameras a minute to cool down, and we'll be back to shoot the other two segments. Removed one of the stacks, and we're going to shoot 4 more groups. Still dead quiet. Okay, so we're going to take this last segment out and do a couple more groups. We have 2 segments removed, and let's shoot our final groups. Okay, let's go down, grab that target, and then come back and talk a little bit about it. So let's talk about the groups for a minute. This is with no moderator at all. Let's face it, Raw's made a nice rifle. The Micro Hunter is so far in my testing, I'd put it in a great gun category. And those groups aren't bad at all. Now, internally on the Micro Hunter, you actually have an air stripper that you can tune by, really you have an infinite number of tuning points. You use an Allen key to actually move it backward and forward within the barrel. And it's a pretty cool system. So I have it backed all the way out for this testing. So it's installed. I just have it backed all the way out. And that's the way it comes from the factory. So good grouping here. Honestly, you put the moderator on, and I would say that I'd say the gun doesn't like this moderator. But when you drop one of those baffle segments out, all of a sudden things really tighten up. And they're not bad over here, but they're not as good as these groups right here. I'll do some analysis and put these up. So let's look at 3 of these groups. This first one is the Micro Hunter, the best group with no moderator, and it's just over 1/2 inch. The second group is the worst one with the Ryu and 2 baffle sections, and it's well under 1/2 inch. Then finally we get to the best group with the 2 segment Ryu, and this is under 1/4 inch. Now again, best to worst, I think what we're seeing is a significant improvement in accuracy by adding this moderator. This is really pretty much what you could call single hole groups, which what more can you, I mean, like, that's what you want, right? So if I were setting this rifle up to shoot, which actually I'm going to do, and then I'm going to go do some hunting with it, but I would set it up with 2 baffle segments, because right now it's giving me the best accuracy. And in fact, I don't even know that I would adjust point of aim, because those holes, maybe 1 click up, maybe, but those holes were pretty much where I wanted them to be at 30 yards. Again, it's a 177 shooting a 10.3 grain pellet, and we're outdoors with some wind. So really nothing to complain about there as far as the rifle working with the moderator as a segment. Today's video was meant not so much to be a review. I don't know that I can be unbiased about this moderator system. I really like to think of myself as the kind of person who can set bias aside. But this is one where I had some input into the testing part of the development. So I have some pride invested in it. This video, and other people will do what I would consider critical reviews of it. What I'm setting out to do today is to try and produce a video that helps you understand how to use the moderator system to make your shooting better and more accurate. All of these at 30 yards are minute a pigeon, minute a squirrel. But I know that I want to be shooting with this degree of precision. I would want to be able to do a little bit better than that. I know questions are going to come up about sound reduction, and again, I'm going to leave that to other people to definitively answer, because somebody out there is going to want to throw a decibel meter on this. But I'm going to give you some examples just for you to listen to of shots at the bench with no moderator, and then with the full moderator on, and then I'm going to throw in just 1 baffle, and I'll let you listen for yourself at how effective this is at reducing noise. than that. So I know how I'm going to set this moderator up on this air rifle, and my encouragement to you is that if you choose to invest in either the Ryu or the Yokozuna, you take your time when you get the moderator and do the same. You figure out which configuration or arrangement of baffles gives you acceptable noise reduction for what you want to do. And in my testing so far, this is really it does an excellent job of reducing noise. And that's across a variety of calibers and a variety of air guns. But then you have the ability to do some what's really either barrel tuning or harmonic tuning with it. And I would encourage you to take the time. Now you may ask, why did I shoot 4 or 5 shot groups? I've been doing this sort of tuning for a long time, and I know that there is every possibility that you can just out of the blue get a great group and think, man, those are the settings, when really it's kind of a fluke. So I want to see repeatable accuracy before I commit, and what's going to be a commitment at this point to 2 baffles on the 177 caliber raw micro hunter. By the way, the smallest size that the Ryu comes in is 22 caliber. So this test was done with a 22 caliber Ryu. I think that about wraps it. I have a feeling that people will have questions on this, so please, and as always, if you have questions, put them in the comments. I do look at those and try my best to answer them as quickly as I can. Do appreciate the positive feedback as well as your likes and subscriptions, and if you really feel like it, go ahead and share this video. But until the next one, shoot safe, shoot straight, and we'll see you around.